What's up, guys? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It's currently 7:54 a.m. Wednesday morning, March the 11th, 2026, year of our Lord. Got 9 on the list today. One of them is leftover from last week. The lady couldn't get it done last week because she was in D.C. and she asked me if I could skip it, and I told her I would go ahead and knock it down this week and then take care of it next week, back-to-back weeks, and she was fine with that. That way it's not... Right now, stuff's growing really quick right now, and believe it or not, it's been hot. Been in the 80s here the past few weeks, or past couple of weeks. And so I don't want to risk her yard looking rough looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock it down this week and then knock it down again next week. But anyways, guys, also picked up a new customer that's gonna be on the list today, and also an old customer that fired me. Her husband is a government employee, works out at Fort Gordon, and she didn't necessarily fire me. She had to let me go because she couldn't afford my services, because him being a government employee and her not being employed, she's unemployed, and that government shutdown this past winter greatly affected him, and they couldn't afford my services anymore. So they let me go. They did finish out the contract, which I was thankful for. Didn't have no headache there, and but the government shutdown messed him up real bad. But he's gone back to work, and things have gotten crazy for him, and he just doesn't have time to maintain the grass. So she picked me back up, and it's going to be bi-weekly paper service this go around, and it's going to be $70 per service. But yeah, so I've got 9 on the list. I only had 6, but picked up 2 more properties, and also got 1 left over from last week, so that's going to make 9. But should be pretty good, man. That new property, it's overgrown though, I'm not gonna lie. It's rough looking, and also got to trim bushes at least one of the properties. I don't know about the other ones. I haven't been out there since November, so we'll see. We shall see. But anyways, guys, it's a beautiful morning right now. It's somewhat overcast, not bad. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be a gully washer tomorrow in the morning. I'm gonna take this mask off my neck, boy. This brand new mask is tight on my neck and feel like I'm wearing a dog collar, man. I don't like that. Anyway, once the mask get broke in, it'll be a little bit better. But anyways, guys, I think the starter is going out on my 61. Went to go, I'm having problems with the 61. That 61 has been a money pit ever since I bought it. Not gonna lie to you. I mean, so much stuff is torn up on it. Some of it my fault, some of it just bad parts, I guess you could say. I don't know. But I take care of my stuff, man. I don't let my stuff just sit around and rot, and I don't let it get raggedy. You know what I mean? I maintain my equipment. But this is stuff that ain't really nothing you can do about it but fix it. I just got it back 2 weeks ago, I think it was. They had to install a new pigtail for it that goes from not a pigtail, a wiring harness that goes from the ignition to the starter, and the conduit was melted on it, and the wiring harness was burned in half on that pigtail. So they installed that, got it back, it's been running flawless. Well, the other day when I went to go crank it up, it wouldn't start. I reached down there with a hammer, tapped the starter, it turned over. And you can hear it trying to turn over when you start it, and it just click. It'll go click, click. You get what I'm saying? Like the starter's trying to turn over, but it seizes up. So did the same thing this morning. I tapped on the starter a few times, and it crunked right up. So I think what's going on is the starter has gone bad in it, and I've only got 1 yard that I need it for today. As soon as I get that yard done, I'm gonna call Harry's, go ahead and order one. But they may have one in stock, and if they do, I'm gonna swing by there, pick it up, and that's what I'm gonna work on this evening, is that starter on that 61. Is it frustrating? Yeah, it is. But like I said before, guys, it's man-made equipment. Nothing you can do about it, man. Anything that's man-made will fail. Just what position are you going to be in when it happens, guys? That's why I tell you all the time, don't spend all your money. You got to put some money back. You got to, man. things are starting to pick up, man. I'm averaging about one right now, and this is a lot for the month of March. I'm averaging about one lead per day. The lead that I had, that, you know, I didn't post that video, but I had a lady call me, an older lady that called me Monday, and she wanted me to come out and look at her property, and I told her, I said, you know, text your number to me, or not your number, text your address and your name to me, that way I'll have it. And she told me she doesn't text, she doesn't email, everything has to be through phone call. And so I got her name, got her email address, got her address and everything, got all that and put it in my notepad on my phone. But I did tell her, you know, if you don't text or email, I'm not going to be able to communicate with you, because I just simply don't have the time to pick up the phone and call every customer I have. I said, I'm not saying that to be rude or to be ugly or anything. That's just the truth of the matter. I just simply don't have time to do that. And she said, okay, well, we'll figure that out as we go. And I said, okay. And so I told her I would call her when I got done Monday afternoon, and I would let her know when I was going to come out. I knew it wasn't going to be Monday night because my boys had a soccer game, and I told her that I would most likely come out there either Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon. It just depends on what the schedule looks like, and that I would know for sure when I look at the schedule Monday afternoon when I get done for the day. Called her twice, went straight to voicemail. Called her again yesterday morning, again went straight to voicemail. So maybe she blocked my number, or somebody in her, maybe her daughter or granddaughter or something, I don't know, but she's not answering the phone for me. So maybe it's just a simple fact that she doesn't want to deal with someone that can't pick up the phone and call them, you know what I mean? And every now and then I can call someone if they have a question or something like that, but when it comes to giving you a courtesy text or communicating about payments and things like that, you know, that's something that I just simply don't have time to pick up the phone and call. I have to send you an email, or I have to send you a text, one or the other. And that's 90% of people, guys. You can't, you know, unless you're starting your business and you've only got, you know, 15, 20 customers, you really just don't have time to do that, man. You really just don't. And if you do have time to do that, hey, man, hats off to you. I'm not telling you how you do and don't need to run your business, you know, but it just doesn't work for me. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, guys, no big deal. Like I said, I'm averaging about one lead a day. That's a lot for March, man. My business does not start picking up until the second week of April. That's when the spring rush normally gets here. And I'm going to be honest with you. What I'm cutting right now is lawns that are untreated. It's people that have a lot of winter weeds on their lawn. Now, granted, my yard is starting to green up a lot, but it has not grown at all. It's not ready to be scalped and bagged yet. It's just not. And the edges don't look bad. There's nothing sticking up out of place in my yard. But come April, that second week in April, right after Masters Week, it's going to be on like collard greens and neck bone. You know what I'm saying? But still, I'm very thankful, man, because picking up stuff in March like that normally doesn't happen for me. Normally just doesn't happen for me. So I'm not complaining at all. And very, very pleased with that. And I'm hoping that that's a sign of things to come for 2026. You know what I mean? I'm really, really hoping that this year I'm going to knock it out of the park, man. And I hope I get to a point where I ain't got no choice but to hire somebody. That's my hopes, man. I'm hoping I can at least do 10 yards every single day. Minimum, you know? And then once I get to a point, because once I get past 10 yards every single day, I'm going to hire somebody. And not that I can't do it. I can do 12 to 13 yards in a day. But here's the thing, guys. I ain't getting no younger, man. I'm 41 years old, okay? I've got 4 kids. I've got a wife. I want to spend time with my family. I do. I don't want to be out working till dark every single night. So once I get past 10 yards per day, and that, like I said, per day, once I get to that point, I will hire a helper. And starting out, it might be a part-time helper or something like that. But for right now, we're going to let business dictate that. And I'm definitely going to have to figure something out here pretty soon, man, because I've got the next 6 weekends I am booked, except for the week of Masters. But the next 6 weekend, I am completely booked out for Fridays and Saturdays due to landscaping jobs. And that is an amazing problem to have, man. That is a great problem to have. I've never been able to say that before. So 2026 is shaping up to be a really good year thus far in the first 2 weeks of March, man. I cannot complain at all. And if I do complain, it would be foolish of me. But anyways, guys, I made a video yesterday asking about this product that SiteOne sells, and I cannot think of the name of it for the life of me. But what it is, it's a mulch glue. Or he told me that people use it for pine straw, but he said it works for mulching rocks too. Have you guys had much luck with this stuff, the glue to hold down the mulch? And I'm asking all this because I've got a mulch job coming up. It's actually supposed to get done this weekend. And the lady is asking me if I can glue it down because every single time it rains, it washes all the mulch out of her beds. And she doesn't have downspout extensions on her gutters. And also she's got, her neighbor's yard is on a hill, and all that water rushes off of his off the top of his house straight down that hill and into her beds and washes everything out. So that's what we're trying to combat here. And so I'm just curious, guys, I know Home Depot sells some stuff. It's like I want to say it's like 40 or 50 bucks for a bottle that covers 250 square feet or 225 square feet. I can't remember exactly what it is, but 225 square feet is not much. And that seems kind of high for something that's not going to cover what I need. I might have to buy 7 bottles of that stuff for it to cover what I need. And but just curious, guys, have you ever had any luck with any of the mulch glue? And I really do wish that I could remember the name of that stuff from SiteOne, man, because I would tell y'all and ask y'all what y'all's opinions were on it. But anyways, guys, hey, look, if y'all have had any luck with that stuff, let me know down in the comments below. Also, man, I upset 2 customers yesterday. One of them is the lady that fired me. I told y'all about the woman that fired me over to Crepe Myrtles. She was hoping that I could come out, and I told you the story behind that. You have to go back and look at that other video. I'm not going into all that. But she texted me yesterday and asked me if I had a quote ready for her. I texted her back and said, I'm confused. I thought you fired me. And she said, oh, you can give me a quote. And so I texted her back and I said, well, the thing about it is I cannot give you a quote to cut your grass and prune the crepe myrtles. I said, I can't give you a quote for all that put together. That's because the crepe myrtles are going to be different every year, depending on the growth. I said, but I can tell you this. I said, you've got 8 crepe myrtles in your yard. I said, they're not tiny and they're not huge. I said, but crepe myrtles that size typically run between $75 and $125 per tree. I said, I just wanted to let you know on that. And she said, what? You don't have a package? I said, no, ma'am, I don't. And she texted me back and said, why? I don't like it when people text me why, guys. I hate when people text me why. I really do. But anyway, she texted me why, and I didn't get ugly with her. I just told her that I wanted to, because I hate why. I do. I hate the letter Y. I hate the W-H-Y, the word, all that. I hate all that. I don't like why. But she texted me back and said, why? And I didn't get ugly, even though I wanted to. I said, well, I've been burned too many times in the past giving people packages, and I'm just not doing that anymore. Everything I do now from here on out is pay per service. And she said, okie dokie. And so I texted her back and I said, I just want to make sure that I'm clear and that you're clear and that we're on the same page here. Do you want me to come give you a quote, or do you not want me to come give you a quote? Never heard nothing back. So this time I just blocked her number, man. I'm not gonna go round and round with somebody. And nothing against a woman. I get it. You know, she's a single woman, elderly woman. Her husband's in bad shape, can't do anything anymore, and because of all the procedures he's had. And a sweet lady, she really is, man. And I had her all year last year, and she took care of me. You know, she took care of the invoice time I sent it, all that good stuff. Nothing. I can't say anything bad about her. I can't. She was a good customer. She really was, and she always tipped too. But I just got to look out for my business, and I hope she understands that, and I understand where she's coming from, but it is what it is, man. Sometimes you got to make business decisions that causes you to lose customers. You get what I'm saying? So, no sweat, man. I mean, it is what it is. I hate it. I don't like losing customers, but that's the nature of the beast, man. And the old saying goes, you lose one, you pick up two. But another customer I upset too. He decided he wanted to cancel the contract in December last year, and I told him up front that the contract goes from March through February, and that the price stays the same for 12 months. I said if I need to bump the price up in March, I will, but I will contact you first and let you know. Well, he was fine with everything, agreed to it, and all that good stuff. Well, guess what? December rolled around, he texted me and he said, hey man, no more service till April. I said, dude, you've got 2 more months left in the contract. What are you talking about, no more service left till April? And he said, well, we just don't need anything done until April. I said, you've got leaves on every one of your trees in your yard still. And you've still got winter weeds growing in your yard. I said, they're not dormant. Those weeds are not dormant. And he said, well, we just don't need any more service till April. I said, okay. So I looked at it and I texted him back. I said, from now on, come the spring, come the growing season, if you want me to continue servicing your property, it's going to be $83 per service. And that's just to cut the grass. I'm not including bushes in that. And he said, okay. So texted him a couple weeks ago, let him know that the season would be starting the first 2 weeks of March, that his day would be the second week of March, and that I would let him know the night before when I am coming. Well, the whole reason he hired me is because him and his wife like to travel and he wasn't in town. You could have unlocked your gate before you went out of town. You knew I was coming. So he texted me when I texted him Monday night when I texted all my customers, let them know that I was coming, just gave him the courtesy text. And he said, front yards only, please. I said, no problem. Went out there, mowed his front yard, removed the leaves, all that good stuff. And got his front yard looking jam up. Does he need service in the backyard? Absolutely. I stood on top of the mower, looked over the fence. That backyard is growing like a weed. So, yeah. Cut his front yard, sent him an invoice for $83. He sent me a text. It says, you just mowed the front yard, right? I said, yes, sir. He said, so why'd you send me an invoice for $83? He said, that should be cut in half. I said, no, sir. I said, no, sir. I said, your property is $83 to mow the grass. And I said, I texted you 2 weeks ago, let you know when your service is going to be, and I also gave you a text last night. I said, I cannot help that you unlock the gate, or that you lock the gate. Simple as that. And he said, okay. So I feel like maybe I got some of that money back that he owed me for the money that I missed out on this past year when he decided to cancel service. But now granted, I probably only got $20 or $30 back, but still, it's something. But hey, man, look, what goes around comes around, right? And maybe he'll keep me, maybe he won't. But he did text me back, and he said, okay. He said, from now on, it's going to be front yard and backyard. I said, I'm fully aware of that. That's all I said. And we left it alone. No more texting between each other. But I mean, it is what it is, guys. I told y'all before, I'm taking control of my business this year. I'm not letting anybody dictate how I do things. I had a customer come up to me Monday and asked me if I could just mow that. I gave them a price early fall this past year. They moved here from Florida, and they asked me Monday. The wife walked out and asked me Monday. I was across the street mowing, and she said, can you service the property once a month? And I told her, I said, listen, I said, as long as you're fine with me coming out on a random day every month. I said, I can't guarantee a day if you're only going to be once a month, but here's the thing. I said, as soon as I come over there and the lawn is overgrown, I'm either going to have to charge you more, or we're going to have to go to bi-weekly minimum. Simple as that. I said, because I cannot be spending an hour and a half, 2 hours on somebody's lawn. That's not going to work. And she said, okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I said, okay, just wanted to be upfront with you on that. So next week sometime, I am going to service this property once, and that's me being nice. The only reason I'm being nice is because it's a neighbor. If it wasn't in my neighborhood, I wouldn't have done that. But also another neighbor to one of my customers asked me if I could come over and scalp and bag his lawn. He takes care of his own lawn, but he said he's got a Ryobi lawnmower with a bagger on it, and he said it's just not strong enough to knock down that thick Bermuda. He said every time he does, it bogs down. And he has a very, very, very thick lawn. It actually needs to be verticut to thin it out a little bit. But yeah, it's extremely, extremely thick. Beautiful lawn too. But so I'm gonna go over there and one day, probably, if it doesn't rain Thursday, I'm gonna go over there Thursday or Friday and scalp it and bag it, and he's gonna pay me $100 to do that. So anyways, guys, like I said, things are shaping up in March, and I really do, I appreciate the Lord for that, man. He's blessing me right now, and I have zero complaints, man. I really do. The only complaint I have is when one half of the string breaks off on your weed trimmer, string trimmer. That's the only complaint I have right now. That and that doggone 61, boy, it's become a thorn in my side. But hey, look, man, I hope y'all are having a great week, great season thus far. And for all you guys up north that are still not mowing yet, man, hey, hang on, because it's coming. It's coming. But look, y'all be blessed out there. Till the next video, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.